3,342 meters inside the mountain, with 800 meters of rock over our heads. First, drill the holes in the rock face, fill them with explosive, and connect the fuses. Document the work. Back off. Prime the fuses, and there goes the blast. Tons of rock have been loosened from the mountain. The spoil is gathered and removed. Now, secure the rock face with shotcrete. Set the anchor bolts. Place the steel ribbing in position with laser-like precision. Lay the steel grills and cover them with shotcrete. The drilling machine can come forward again to prepare the next volley. Altogether, 130 boreholes, 160 kilograms of explosives, 16 cubic meters of concrete, 800 kilos of steel, and the work of 6 miners working for 4 hours for a volley length of 1.7 meters. Total length excavated in 24 hours, about 8 meters.
The Brenner Base Tunnel is one of the most important infrastructure projects in Europe. Under the Alpine range, a modern railway tunnel is being built as part of a high-capacity line between Innsbruck and Fortezza. The significant reduction in travel time between the two regional capitals of North and South Tyrol will provide new travel and transportation options in this central part of Europe. On April 7th, 2007, construction work begins. The ceremony celebrating the tunnel boring machine start up for the construction of the stretch of Exploratory Tunnel from Aica to Mulles in Italy is the starting gun for the entire project. At the same time, construction on the Mulles access tunnel begins. On December 4th, 2009, excavation work begins in Austria. The first works involved the stretch of the Exploratory Tunnel from the Siel River Gorge southwards towards Brenner. 6 months later, work begins on the Ahrtal access tunnel. On November 3rd, 2010, the tunnel boring machine breaks through the last meters of rock in Mulles. 11 kilometers of exploratory tunnel have been completed. In March of 2011, work begins on the Wolf construction lot in Steinach am Brenner. As part of the preparatory logistics, the Saxener and Pedaster tunnels are built, and the largest spoil disposal site is set up in the Pedaster Valley. In October 2011, the construction work in Mulles intersects one of the greatest geological peculiarities in the Alps, the Peradriatic fault line. A new construction lot with new challenges. As of September 2014, another 38 kilometers are on the program. Work starts on the Tulfes-Pfons construction lot. On March 19, 2015, in the presence of EU Transport Commissioner Violeta Bulc and the Ministers for Transport of the 7 Alpine states, the excavation of the main tunnel tubes began in Austria. In September 2015, the first tunnel boring machine in Austria started working on the Brenner Base Tunnel, excavating the exploratory tunnel southwards. On July 14, 2016, the groundbreaking ceremony was held for the Isarco River Underpass construction lot, where complex construction works can now begin. Between December 2016 and April 2017, 6 separate excavation fronts start as part of the Mulles construction lot, the largest construction lot on the Italian side of the Brenner Base Tunnel, lasting 6 years, is proceeding apace. On the 27th of July 2017, 3 breakthroughs are celebrated on the same day. The emergency tunnel and both connecting tunnels have been completed. We now have an underground connection between the Inn and the Vip valleys. In May 2018, the first of 3 tunnel boring machines go into operation in the Müller's construction lot. The tunnel boring machine named Serena will build the exploratory tunnel towards Brenner with a total length of 14.7 kilometers. On December the 4th, with the celebration of St. Barbara's Day, the breakthrough of the southern portal of the Brenner Base Tunnel at the station in Fortezza took place. In the Müller's construction lot, 2 further tunnel boring machines began their work in April and May of 2019. Flavia and Virginia will drive the 2 main tunnels northwards. The drill and blast excavation southwards were completed in October 2020, when the border of the construction lot was reached. On the 1st of July 2019, the official start of construction works for the Pfons Brenner lot took place on the occasion of a ceremony with EU coordinator Pat Cox. In November 2019, half of the Brenner Base Tunnel had been excavated. That is, 115 kilometers of the total 230-kilometer tunnel network had already been completed. On the 6th of July 2020, the breakthrough of the tunnel boring machine in the Exploratory Tunnel coming from the A-Rental took place in the municipal area of Steinach am Brenner. After 16.7 kilometers of tunneling works by TBM, a continuous connection between the A-Rental and Steinach has been established. On the 3rd of August 2020, construction work started on the H21 Sill Gorge construction lot. This highly complex construction lot connects Innsbruck railway station with the Brenner Base Tunnel via the North Portal. The BBT consists of 2 8-meter wide tubes set at a distance of 70 meters from each other. At 333-meter intervals, a bypass connects the 2 tunnels and can be used as an escape route. Underground emergency stops are located at about 20-kilometer intervals, connected to the surface. This configuration conforms to the highest security standards for tunnels. A continuous exploratory tunnel is located 12 meters below the 2 main tunnels, providing information on rock mass conditions. It is also used as a drainage and service tunnel. With the connection to the Innsbruck railway bypass, which has been operational since 1994, the Brenner Base Tunnel will be at 64 kilometers, the longest underground railway connection in the world. The works on the Brenner Base Tunnel are divided into construction lots. The works on the northernmost H21 Sill Gorge construction lot create a connection between the Brenner Base Tunnel and Innsbruck Central Station. Compared to the construction sites, where work takes place mostly underground, the work in this section is largely performed above ground. The 600-meter-long Sill Gorge section basically includes the following construction works: a 200-meter-long supporting wall founded on approximately 400 drilled piles, a 130-meter-long cut-and-cover tunnel, 2 railway bridges over the Sill, and the Brenner Base Tunnel North Portal, where the works for the pre-stressed anchors are already underway. Extensive slope stabilization works are also taking place at Bergisel, in close proximity to the Tyrol Panorama Museum. Accompanying construction measures, works for a new access bridge over the Sill and extensive river engineering measures are already underway. In particular, ensuring fish passage in the Sill as well as flood-proof, permanently stable embankments is essential in the H21 construction lot, which, once completed, will also offer an added value for the Sill Gorge, which is a popular local recreational area. In order to allow the access to the rear area of the Sill Gorge during the construction phase, an alternative hiking trail has been built starting from the car park of the Tyrol Panorama Museum. The current lot, south of Innsbruck, includes the Tulfes area up to Steinach am Brenner and involves a total of 42 kilometers of tunnels. Besides the existing Innsbruck bypass, between 2014 to 2017, a parallel emergency tunnel was built, starting from the portal in Tulfes. The works are now complete. Cross tunnels connect the bypass tunnel at 333-metre intervals with the new emergency tunnel, thus bringing the railway bypass tunnel in Innsbruck, which has been operational since 1994, into compliance with subsequent safety requirements. This was the reason for constructing the emergency tunnel. About 160 metres below the town of Aldrans, two connecting tunnels branch off from the existing railway bypass in the direction of the Vip Valley. These two tunnels create a crossover in order to allow a fluid transition between the right-hand running in Austria and the left-hand running which is used in Italy. The two connecting tunnels took only 2 years to be constructed. The breakthrough took place in the summer of 2017. Creating an underground connection between the Inn and the Vip valleys. Once the excavation works are completed, the internal lining of the connecting tunnels will begin. Inflowing mountain water is drained off to the tunnel invert by means of an insulating film, and thus any moisture is kept away from the tunnel. The reinforcement is then assembled. In blocks of 12.5 meters each, lattice mats and steel bars are woven by hand into a mesh, which gives the concrete stability and durability. The tunnel inner wall is then filled with concrete block by block using mobile carriage molds. The consistency of the concrete, the placement and compaction are precisely coordinated so that the concrete has no defects and the reinforcement is completely embedded. For the first time in tunnel construction history, the Brenner Base Tunnel is being built to last at least 200 years. The Exploratory Tunnel is located centrally between the two main tunnels and about 12 meters below them. From September 2015 to July 2020, a 180-meter-long TBM carried out 16.7 kilometers of the excavations for the Exploratory Tunnel towards Steinach am Brenner. The starting point was a chamber below the town of Patch, which is connected to the surface by the Achrental Access Tunnel. The Exploratory Tunnel provides information on the geological characteristics of the rock mass, and at a later stage will therefore make a construction of the main tubes efficient, fast, safe, and cost-effective. The open gripper machine worked its way through the rock by large disc cutters, which rotate slowly but constantly, while the TBM pushes hard against the rock face. Behind the cutter head, the backup provides for consolidation works through installation of tunnel linings and anchors, steel ribs, reinforcing steel mats, and shotcrete. The tunnel floor or base slab is built with prefab concrete elements, the so-called tubbing rings. Fully automated multi-service vehicles shuttle back and forth to the TBM to supply construction material, concrete and prefab elements. Tunnel spoil was transported on a conveyor belt system. Here in the Achrental Valley, approximately 2.6 million cubic meters of excavated material will be relocated along the Brenner Highway. The new surface will be gradually replanted and covered with vegetation. On this new area, an electrical substation has been built to provide the structure with electrical energy during the construction phase. With the breakthrough which took place on the 6th of July 2020 in the Steinach municipal area, the TBM concluded its productive journey through the mountain. It was dismantled piece by piece in the disassembly cavern and removed. Only the cutting head stayed as an exhibit piece and has been set up in front of the information center Tunnel World in Steinach am Brenner. The largest disposal site for excavation material, the Pedasta Valley, is also located in Steinach. After the completion of construction works and revegetation, this deeply cut valley will become arable land. The Pedasta Brook will be rerouted to a new bed on the surface, and new wooded and pasture areas will be created. About half of the excavation material of the Austrian project area will be deposited here. The excavation material is transported to this disposal site using underground conveyor belts, and the local residents hardly notice it. In Mulles, the works on the biggest construction lot on the Italian side of the Brenner Base Tunnel are fully underway. The construction lot ranges from Brenner until the southernmost construction lot, the Isarco River Underpass. It includes the construction of a total of 65 kilometers of tunnels, both northwards and southwards, as well as the emergency stop below Trents. In addition to drill and blast excavation works, 3 tunnel boring machines will be used for the excavation of the tunnel tubes towards the national border. The first, named Serena, is already working in the Exploratory Tunnel towards Brenner. The 2 TBMs for the main tunnels, after a complicated production phase at the Herrenknecht factory in Germany, were moved to the construction site. This was a significant challenge in terms of logistics. The largest, heaviest parts travelled by sea via Antwerp and Marghera, because it would not have been possible to bring them through the Alps. The 2 TBMs were reassembled over the course of 6 months, and under the names Flavia and Virginia, are proceeding apace with their work. The most important part of this high-technology underground tunnel fabric is its cutter head. It has a diameter of almost 11 meters and has numerous cutters. Which, while rotating, crush the rock into small pieces. The rock behind the cutter head is then shifted onto a conveyor belt. From there, the spoil is carried automatically out of the tunnel to the disposal site. After the boring phase, the reinforced concrete segments, the so-called tubbing rings, are installed in a ring shape along the tunnel under the protection of a shield casing. The segments are picked up by means of a rotating crane arm and precisely joined together. Once the keystone has been put in place, another 1.5 meters of the tunnel lining will have been installed. The just-in-time supply of tubbing rings is an important prerequisite for uninterrupted tunnel driving. Therefore, the precast concrete elements are produced in the immediate vicinity of their destination, in a specially built segment plant. In the production of tubbing rings, every millimetre counts, and important parameters such as tunnel cross-section and statics are taken into account in tubbing segment design. The production steps must be carried out precisely. After drying, the 9-ton tubbing rings are transported underground by rail-bound vehicles through the completed tunnel system to the tunnel boring machine. In the southernmost stretch of the Brenner Base Tunnel, the new railway line will move to the other side of the valley, and thus pass under all the traffic routes along the Brenner axis and the Isarco River. This is a complex challenge, and the stretch under the Isarco River especially requires special construction techniques. After completion of the 4 huge shafts, the excavation of the main tunnels northwards has begun. In autumn 2020, the most complex construction works for the Brenner Base Tunnel project started right here, with ground freezing and the Isarco River underpass. The ground freezing method uses nitrogen to create an ice shell around the area to be excavated, so that safety can be guaranteed during the operations below the river. After the consolidation of the soil, the tunnel was excavated using drill and blast methods. And soon after, the internal lining of the tunnel was carried out. After completion of one of the connecting tunnels with ground freezing in autumn 2020, the excavation and breakthrough of the first main tunnel tube took place in April 2021. Two more tunnel sections will then be built below the Isarco. To the south, excavation has been completed on the main tunnels and the 2 connecting tunnels leading from the main line to the station in Fortezza. The southern entrance to the Brenner Base Tunnel has been built at the station in Fortezza, and the breakthrough took place in December 2018. Now people travelling through the station in Fortezza can actually see the Brenner Base Tunnel. After completion of the construction works, the entire construction site will be restored to its natural condition.
People always ask me, what are compensatory measures? Working in BBT SE, we are aware of the effects of major construction sites. Therefore, we do a lot to compensate those impacts. And this is also why we finance and implement significant improvements to habitat and nature in our project area. Habitats, wetlands and moorland are revitalized and expanded as recreational areas for the population. The river courses of the Isarco River and the Marita and Sill brooks are being rerouted. This means fish can swim upriver again and reach their spawning grounds, and these mountain brooks will regain their original characteristics. In the next few years, a total of 250 such compensatory measures.
In the BBT Tunnel World Centre in Steinach am Brenner, opposite the valley station of the Bergerelm ski slope, information about and closer glimpses of the major Brenner Base Tunnel project are available all throughout the year. After renovation works in spring 2021, visitors can now experience the tunnel construction in a fun and educational way on a 800 square metre exhibition area and in the display tunnel, as well as finding out the latest information about the project. One of the attractions is the cutter head of the tunnel boring machine from the Exploratory Tunnel with an 8-metre diameter. which is now on display here after contributing to almost 17 kilometers of tunneling works. Not far from the tunnel world, the circular walking path in the Podasta Valley offers a spectacular view of the disposal site and provides on-site information about the location and the nature-friendly measures which were carried out. Since the end of June 2021, highlights of the new Munich-Verona railway axis have been on display at Innsbruck Central Station. The southern part of the station hall gallery has been transformed into a walk-through tunnel section with backlit photos and interactive showcases. The content of the exhibition changes every 3 months. It starts with an overview on the construction works for the Brenner Base Tunnel. Once a year, the tunnel construction sites in North Tyrol and South Tyrol are opened for interested visitors, such as in 2019, when thousands of visitors had the chance to discover up close the fascinating world of tunneling on the Achrentel, Müllers and Isarco river underpass construction sites. Employees of BBT explain facts about tunneling, geology and topography. Tunnel tours make it possible to view the working progress in the project area. A further highlight was the visit to the TBMs in Müllers in June of 2019. A special entertainment program for all ages makes the open tunnel days a special experience. And who knows, perhaps someone will have the chance to find their true calling. Another information centre on the project of the century is located in the old fortress in Fortezza, near the southern entrance to the tunnel. It provides information on the history of the Brenner Pass, on the project and the progress of the works, as well as statements from people who work on the project itself in all its many facets. Originally a masterpiece of Habsburg military architecture, built as a barrier no army could overcome, the fortress of Fortezza now serves as an information hotspot for one of the biggest cross-border projects in the world.